Welcome back. Welcome back. We are back in the mix right now. We are playing Dirty Dozen mix that hasn't run too much as of late, so it's kind of a nice little change right here. Go ahead and look. Obviously, since we're playing Dirty Dozen, we're playing 6 games. No, I'm totally kidding. We're playing 12. 7 card stud, Badusi deuce 7, no limit capped, Badugi, stud 8 or better, deuce 7 triple draw, pot limit capped, Badesi ace to 5, Raz ace to 5, no limit single draw capped, limit Omaha 8 or better, and limit Hold'em. I'd say this is probably one of the closest mixes right now that you'll find to what most games are played in like mixed game tournaments. So I'm actually excited to get a rotation in this one. We're jumping right into the stud action to start out. So we'll see how this one goes today. We are playing 10-20. Here, if we're playing blackjack, we have 21 and we win. We are playing 7 card stud, so we do not. Again, as always, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. Comments are down below. Any emails you want to send to me. If you would like a free review, you can record yourself playing 1 hour on Phenom, send it to me, and we will go over it. Also, if you're looking to open a Phenom account, there is a link below. Please use that. That helps me out. That helps the channel out. Keeps me motivated to keep making some new videos. Also, that's new content out, so please check that out. But I'm super excited to get everything out. I did miss my blind, so I'll have to wait one other hand. But yeah, if anyone else has anything that they would like to say, get in touch with me, discuss. I'm super happy and excited to do it. So now we're playing Badusi. Split pot game, no qualifier. 7-5-4-3-2 is the best low hand. And 5-4-3-2 rainbow is the best high hand. We're going to defend here at the big blind, drawing 3 at the 7-4. We do not improve. It looks like we improve, but we do not. And against the 1 card drawn position against us, we're going to go ahead and check fold this fold. We don't really pay, like if I made 2 pair in this situation, like 7s and 4s, I would consider going, I would consider peeling again, but since they're all like big face cards, I think it's, I think we just give that one up. Definitely should check fold against a 1 card draw sometimes there, and that seems like an easy one to do it. 7-4 seems like one of the worst hands I'm probably going to call it there. If you guys liking the new comment, we have a series out right now with Flary decided to send a video in. I've had some inquiries also about other people sending some videos in. Plus, we just did a review with a good buddy, Death Donkey, aka Chris Fitch. 5 hands and deuce to 7. So check that out. Let them know you appreciate it. So I think this is some of the best stuff out there right now in mixed land. Poker Go's got a tournament coming up next week too, or next month. But it's a mixed game tournament. 3-5-6 here in the cutoff. Go ahead and call. Buried stands pat, and Joke takes 1. So don't love that start, but okay. Not keeping the 10 Badugi yet. I would say like 3-5-6 is almost the same value as like having a 10 Badugi in this situation. Like you're either going to win with your, well, that's probably not true, but that's what it feels like. So we're going to draw 2 again. We do catch a deuce, so we make 2-3-5. And Joke is still calling, and we're also going to call now in position here and draw 1. Somewhat hoping that Barry decides to check this river, so we have a chance to win with the 2-3-5 if we miss, but we don't miss. We make number 3 low and a 2-3-5, so this is plenty of equity to raise river with. And we're against 8-8. And Joke, I saw he had a Badugi. I just don't know how low it was. It might have been an 8-2. We got lucky river there. Looks like everyone's going. Do we have? We do. We have the 8 Badugi in the big blind here. Pretty strong 3-handed, especially against the limp. Let's see what his Badugi was against draw 3. He should probably give up sometimes there. Seems like he did. Oh, I don't know if we would be able to see Joke's hand. No limit Hold'em capped here. Okay, Jack 8. Offsuit, I'm going to start with the limp, given the fact that there's just so much dead money. We're going to have a lot of limps here in the small blind. A6 deuce rainbow. We go ahead and bet small on the ace-high flop. My opponent's overfold in these situations anyway, so I feel like I'm kind of getting away with sometimes, but Yeah, I can't see Joke's hand. It's a little bit of a flaw. Still, to my knowledge, I don't think we do a lot of limping in No Limit Hold'em, even with the Big Ante. I think that's more prone to, say, like a game like Big O, PLO, maybe even some stud games. But from what I've seen in Solver World, even with a semi-decent ante, I think we're still folding a lot. So Queen 6 offsuit here. This is just going away. What? Whoa. That was interesting. 5x shove flop? I did not think that was the thing. Maybe that might have been a misclick. All right. We will keep note on that one. I guess theoretically he could shove aces in that situation, but yeah, I think we're just gonna. Oh, I had the 2.5x click, but I meant to click the 3x. King 9-4, pretty favorable flop flush. We're just gonna go ahead and bet this one half pot. Get that one through. It was interesting. I haven't been so excited in a mixed game in a while, but of course we're playing No Limit Hold'em when the excitement gets me. Tricky hand in Badoogie here. I think my opponent's just gonna have so many 2-card that we're gonna have to like raise and just pat this hand, and basically any sort of yeah, like if we face that, we're probably just gonna end up folding. This is definitely the king queen combo here is the one to just give up right away, even if he's like semi bluffing us. I don't love 3-betting that hand just because I know sometimes it's just super hard to play that hand out of position, and I don't think we're pushing that much equity, like hot and cold equity wise. If it gets to the river, I think a lot of my opponents here are going to be a little bit sticky. But having king queen Badoogie definitely can just give that one up to any sort of action. Not breakable. Again, Badoogie 4-3-2-1 is the best hand. If you do not have a Badoogie, the best it's kind of interesting. I almost want to just bluff my hand, but I'm just going to draw 4. My hand's so bad. If you do not have Badoogie, the best 3-card wins. So if you have no Badoogie, the lowest 3-card combination, the nut 3-card combination being 3-2-1. Be hilarious if Omaha Brian times out and I just win with a bet after drawing 4 on the first one. Okay. I mean, at the same time too, this could also just be a snow, but I mean, there's not really much to do in that situation. Honestly, if he accidentally posted in the situation and had a Badoogie, he probably played that well. I'm going to assign like a 50-50 probability this is a snow, but there's not. I'm just going to check fold so much anyways that it's not really going to matter. I think the question is like who wants to bluff there more. I will give him that one. We've talked a little bit about like if you're accidentally posting or if you like come in posting in some of the games, what the proper strategy is, and you should definitely have some traps in your range. There's no question about it. 2-3 here. We're going to muck it. Interesting that Buried is not betting. Joke should still be the favorite here, I would say. Yeah, because always Buried there is usually got like a rough draw to Badoogie out of position. 9 Badoogie here, pretty strong here four-handed. Usually a hand we're almost never going to break, even though we're still drawing at a wheel. But I don't think we break this one. Like even against a draw 2. That happens a lot too. Usually they check fold if they're drawing 2 and we're pat. Fair bit. It's an interesting one. I need to do some math on that one just to see, like, against a wide range, how are we doing? Against the jack opening, I think, like, Joke has a pretty wide range. I'm going to defend here with the king 5 deuce. He catches relatively good for his range, and I catch pretty bad. So I'm just going to give up. Like, I think he could be opening pretty wide, but me catching a 9 here, and if he's opening hide cards in this situation, I'm in a pretty bad spot, so I give up. 4 card straight has returned. 10 opens, 8 calls. We're gonna want to get in there and gamble, but I just think this hand is just the reverse implied odds, even with a 2 suit and 2 low, pretty bad. If I had an ace, I would consider it, I think. Again, stud 8 or better. Half the pot's going to go to the high. And if half or the whole pot will go to the high, if there is a low 8 or better qualifying, that pot, half the pot will go to that hand. The best low wins. Half the pot. Best low in this game is 5 4 3 2 1. That is also a straight in this game. I think something like Mike McD once said something along the cigar line of, like, it's got me enough high and enough high, or what did he say? It said, like, it's got enough kick to give me the high and the low, or something like that. So when he was smoking playing poker in the cigar shop. It tells you how old I am if I can start quoting rounders. Omaha Brian here should probably be doing a fair bit of betting, but both guys, like, kind of caught good cards here, I think, on 6th Street, but his board with 4 low cards is slightly better. Ooh, and he had a flush draw. Got lucky. He backdoored that low, but he did. 8-7 low wins that one. Looked like 2 pair won the high. 4-4-10 here, muck. It's one thing I hope they do change. They coming out with a different table refactor here shortly, I believe. And when they do that, hopefully it shows, like, what won, because I would love to see the action. And actually, since he won the pot, I can actually tell you, but I think he had 2 pair deuces and 7s. Yeah, he had, sorry, deuces and 7s. Yep, that's correct. We are full. All right, 2 5 7 stud 8. So we're noting the dead cards 3 5 and 7 for the low. When the 5 comes in raising, I'm going to go ahead and call on the spot. We do some 3 betting. I think we do some calling. We break in Joe catches basically the Joker. So with Omaha catching good behind here as well, suited deuce, we're going to muck. Wow. Maybe that was a split pair of 9s or something. I'm not sure. Even then, given the fact that his board is still pretty strong, I think, like, 9s should continue against the ace. So it seems like kind of an unusual give up in that spot. What's the next game? Let's see. Triple draw. Deuce to 7. 5 7 5 4 3 2 is the best hand. Straights and flushes count against you. Aces play high. We'll play a little PLO capped. This is moving pretty fast, ironically. I feel like we're almost halfway done. But let's see, equanimity. I don't know this one. Sebastian Schultz. He's from Germany. I guess everyone here plays pretty quick. Interesting that I think Barry decided to check. Always Barry decided to check that one back in position. That is a pretty strong hand, I would say. How did he get dealt in? I don't think he had a big one, but maybe he did. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe go look back at the tape. All right, interesting hand here. Very strong 2-card draw, but we also have a couple blockers here. Interesting in itself right now. It's going to go raise on a gun call next to him. Again, blockers are super important in this game. Extra deuces are super important in this game. Because theoretically, like if you've seen 4 deuces and somehow you make one of the 9 best hands, you cannot lose. No, we're not going to 3-bet this hand, even though feels like I kind of want to 3-bet this hand, but just noting we had a 7 and a deuce. It's got to go 2-2-2-2 in my mind. Catch the 8 the first draw. I think we're just calling. I don't think, unless it just goes crazy. I don't think we are. I don't think we're breaking here. 4 card straight bets again. I think he's pretty wide, so I'm gonna go ahead and call. Yeah, he has Pat. We have, like I said, we see an extra 7, extra deuce. So one of these players do not have a deuce in their hand, so they're drawing rough. Yeah, I would expect to check from there in a situation where that goes like 1-1-1. He does not have the deuce, and the 98 over here is going to win. So this player didn't have a deuce either. Wow. I don't think a 2-card draw in that situation like that without a deuce in their hand should open under the gun. It actually wonders if my hand should have been raised on the first draw, considering I had an extra 7 and a deuce against his range. And so I know that one of these players in this hand didn't have a deuce. That would be a fun one to run back with, I think, Chris, one of these days, if I ever get to do another deuce hand on the channel like that. Pat 8. It is definitely a rough 8, but most 8s are going to be good enough to just 3-bet Pat and hold on. And again, we don't have a deuce in our hand because, like in this situation too, if I had like 8-7-6-4-2, it'd be slightly different, I think. Where I would consider just breaking my hand right away and breaking for action. I don't think we're ever supposed to check in this situation, so we're gonna bet again. Now we do get heads up, so that's also kind of the bonus. And definitely don't want to. We hate the fact that he's timing here a little bit, thinking like, should I bet like 87 here or something like that? But we're just gonna go ahead and check back the 8. He does have 98. I don't think he was gonna bet that hand. Unless he basically thinks I'm snowing in that situation. I don't think he can beat value. 2, 3, 5 here. We're gonna 2-bet here with the extra deuce. I think joke's also a little bit wide too. Proof to 1 card 6. We're gonna call. Discards 1 again. Take the queen. 7 would be sweet. Jack. 1-1-1. We're gonna check the jack and just break, even though we have a straight draw. There's no value here in realistically keeping this one. So going back, let's try again. A 7 would be sweet. We make the straight, and I'm not going to bluff at this one. I'm going to let this one go. Yeah, we're going to fold this one. And fortunately, we did not make number 3 there, because we would have lost to number 1. All right, PLO capped with Big Annie. I'll always refer out and basically say anyone looking to play PLO, don't listen to me. Go seek out Vision, run it once, or go seek out PLO Trainer on PLO Mastermind. I personally use PLO Trainer. That's just me. I really appreciate the content Jay Nandes puts out for free on his YouTube channel. Even if you don't have access to PLO Trainer, the stuff that you learn from his play, from him having access to the tool, I think is super important, and it'll just make you a better PLO player in general. So, my 2 cents. I don't know if I want to play an Omaha hand against someone named Omaha Brian, but we're gonna test our luck anyways. I think like a lot of people in this game have a lot of small raises. The slight difference here, I believe, in this game, yeah, obviously not easy fold, is the fact that you can make a very big raise pre-flop. So if you usually what you do is like if you open in this game, even with a big ante-ish, oh, that is a bad beat one way or the other. Yeah, I actually think the ace king queen six might is he given like the size of what the pot re-raise means, and given the fact that he runs into aces so much, I think like ace king queen there actually might be a fold pre-flop. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's possible. Obviously, the king Badugi here is a muck. But yeah, you kind of have these different sizes where, you know, you can limp pre-flop. I think a lot of people try to exploit and put like the little raise in there, and like a lot of people don't necessarily like defending against the little raise. Like this queen 9 5 8 here folded to is definitely a play. But you can also, and this is the other trick, like you can just open for 5x, and when you open for 5x, if you can open for 5x, you know, if you start limping, you should have a lot of traps in your range, is my guess, because if you limp and someone decides to 5 or 6x it and you get to repot it, you've basically lowered the SPR to almost nothing, which means like you're just never getting away from your hand and you're just pushing so much equity. So my guess is in a situation where you can like 5x or 6x pre-flop, you most likely have a lot of limp traps. Interesting here, like equanimity is kind of like repping he has, like the size here is like repping he has aces. And ace queen queen 8. Always they're called, I think, correctly with his hand. Ace 4 9 7, and then just kind of got priced in, even though the flop checked around. Super happy this is running though. It's nice to see that. Nice to see this combination. I really do like this mix. This is one of my favorites. The no limit single draw capped is fun. Yellow cap is fun. I would replace this maybe with Big O, but like the fact that this is in here makes it so much, I would say, more useful when like getting ready for the World Series. Some other games, we got top two versus a set and a set. Yep, that is in these 40 bit bet games. I mean, like that's just pretty standard, I would say. It's like you're just gonna get it in so light, so fast that yeah, not much you can do there. Get 3-bet here by equanimity. We're gonna call here with our ace deuce 4. Draws 2. Okay. All right, draws 2. We improve to a. We're gonna throw the right one away. He bets. We're gonna call. Now we do have some like call here and traps with Badugis. So like trying to raise on the next street. If you ever ask me, I'll just say, yeah, I was just trapping you on the next street. No, I didn't. I didn't make anything. I would say this range is more like weighted towards like 7-7s, maybe some 6 lows with like no Badugis. But obviously, like having a 6-6 in Badesi here is a super strong hand. We have the same hand, but I have the better Badugi, so I get 3/4. We both had ace deuce 4, ironically, too. Ace 3 5 6 Badugi, which is super strong. Again, Badesi, the best 5-card hand is 5 4 3 2 1. 5 4 3 2 ace is the best low, and the best Badugi is 4 3 2 ace. Straights do not count against you in this game. We do get 3-bet. We are going to 4-bet under the gun here, just because we're like drawing 1, and we got 3-bet last hand against the draw 2. So I think this is totally fine and mostly standard. I'd say like if my opponent here, like if my opponent in this situation it only has draw 1s, I think calling here is fine. And then like kind of like playing your hand later. We do get raised again. Now I would say like we talk about like how when we start raising and re-raising, ranges close up really fast. But also given that fact, my hand is still relatively strong. If I see one more raise, I'm probably just calling down at this point. But if he doesn't, then my guess is he's close to like a 7-7, or again, like somewhat similar, like a 6 low as like last hand. He probably cannot beat a 6 Badugi at this point. He does have a better low. He has the same low as last hand. He pips me by 1 for the low, but my 6 Badugi is best for the 4 card hand. So we would chop that one. We just got to remember in limit games, like, you know, I 4-bet pre-flop out of position, and then if I'm Pat and we start like goes bet, raise, re-raise, 4-bet, ranges are super narrow at this point. I don't even think like 6-5 through Badugi there is probably good, but I have a 6 low and a 6 Badugi, so I just kind of like grit my teeth and call down, because I can beat like some 7 lows with a 4 Badugi or 7 low with a 5 Badugi, etc. But I can't really break my hand. Like if I break any part that's the best there, it's an absolute disaster. So not much I can really do there except just call down. But he didn't put that extra bet in, so that's why I was still leading. Looks like always buried. Decided to call it a day. We'll try to get to the 7 card stud portion. See where we're at. I'm gonna have to make dinner for the kids here in a little bit myself. But I saw this game running. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to get some hands in. 6 low, ace deuce 3 versus. Was there not a bet on the river? I feel like there definitely should be a bet on that river. 2, 6, 7 here with a couple of dead cards, a couple of extra pairs. I'm gonna open this one. I don't really think it matters which one I keep in this spot, because the pairs are kind of paired against each other. Like sometimes if I have a different suit, it might matter. So we're gonna draw. We slightly improve our hand, but we kind of don't. I'm not gonna pat the 9 right away, even in position. So I'm just gonna go ahead, break, and draw 2 again. Even though, remember, now I've seen an extra deuce, an extra 7 still. We improve to a 7 with a 3 card. Definitely gonna bet the 7, win check 2. Not checking back in this spot. Expect to see some check raises sometimes, no doubt about it, but can't pass up the opportunity to effectively steal that hand. Ooh, get dealt a 6 Badugi here too. See, but AC is easy when you get dealt 6 Badugis all the time. And we get that one through, fortunately, unfortunately. All right, Raz, ace to 5. Can't really defend here against this one. Too many face cards. And same thing here. Too many face cards. I do have a wheel draw, though. If given the opportunity to check it down the whole way, I might show up with a wheel. Nell's trying to get in. And these games are attached to the blockchain, so sometimes it takes a second or two to get in. Man, we're just the bring-in all the time. The only way we could consider playing this hand is against 4 cards straight. The problem here is my second card, I believe, is over his 8 draw, which I don't love, even if he decided to just open 100%. So the only person I could ever see myself like calling against there would be him. But I usually want 2 cards under his hand to try to beat him. But my guess is theoretically in a hot and cold equity situation, I'm getting the right price to call against a 100% range. But playing my hand correctly after that is just something totally different. Omaha checked an 8-4 and got equanimity. I think bet a worse 8. Honestly, I think an 8 perfect is a pretty strong hand. It could can just consider betting. Perfect in that situation is pretty, like, it's a relative game, of course. Like, it looks like he has a 10 low draw. I still think, like, even when we both catch 10s here, my range is still a little bit of a favorite, so I'm gonna go ahead and bet. He catches a 9, which means he has some sort of draw in this situation, but 10 I think is still too good. We pair the deuce, and we're probably gonna go ahead and check call in this situation because, like, the deuce is supposed to help his range too. Unfortunately, he does bet, so he's representing in 9. I could theoretically check raise bluff my hand, but I think just gonna call. Do lose. Ace 5 6 here, strong 3 4 6 7. Those are the cards that I need to remember. Don't love the fact that the 3, the 4, and the 7 are out because we usually need those to make a hand. And in this situation, like, if both these players fold, I'm not gonna like two bet my hand. I'm just gonna call. If Mel plays a hand, so we have 4 6 7 dead. Catches a 4, which is not the best card, obviously, but we catch an 8, so we're still gonna continue. Catch at the 3, we catch a 4. Obviously we're unpaired in this situation. We're gonna bet. 7's obviously not necessarily a great card here, but we're still gonna call. And then hopefully, the 3s are dead. Hopefully catch a deuce here. We catch a pair of 4. And it's not great because now it's less likely he paired this 4. We don't have a 3 in our hand. We don't have a 7. There was a 7 out here, but we're still not folding an 8. Once we get to the river with an 8, we're still calling. He has a 7-5. So unfortunately, we did not make our 6 and undercut him. And he did undercut us. But I don't think in that spot when he needs 2 cards to beat you that we're folding in 8 in that situation. Then honestly, if I made a 6, I'm going to check raised him. So single draw. So we haven't just, I don't know if we played this game that much ever on the site yet. So single draw, no limit deuce to 7 single draw is one draw game. The best hand is still 7 5 4 3 2. Now to 40 big blind cap, this game is quite different. Because usually the street, depending on like opening raise sizes, usually it's kind of it usually goes depending on what their opening size is, usually it can go bet all in or like bet re-raise all in, but there's not much play at 40 big blinds. And usually you're usually drawing at one pats or and if you're in the big blind in this situation, given this price, you can probably have some draw twos and be totally fine. But you know, the best hand is still 7 5 4 3 2. You just don't see a lot of 7s or a lot of 8s in this game very often because there's just so many rough draws out there. Even if folded to me on the button here, I think 5 6 7 is probably just a fold. It's just so rough of a draw with the straight draw. Like here on the button here, if I had like a 4, if I had a 1 card 7 draw with a deuce and a 7 and like 2 cards in between, this is a really like good opportunity to just like jam all the money in this spot and just pick up the blinds. Because the game is still like pretty simplified. Like at this point, you know, if there's like a bet, like basically any other thing besides raise, I think is incorrect. Yeah, like Mel could have jammed his I think Mel drew 1. I think Mel could have usually just jammed his 7 card draw in that situation, got everyone to fold. Pat jacks are pretty say like most pat jacks are your opens, this is kind of like where you want to pat your hand. 1 card 10 draws or better. Then like your premium draws for the most part too. There's a little bit of raising and re-raising. I think Brian played that one pretty good. 9-5 is a very strong hand in single draw. 1 card 9 draw over here. Against 4 card. 4 card, we're gonna call with the 9 here. 1 card draw. We do have some traps for sure, because like if someone picks up a strong draw and thinks they can get us to fold, then we want them to jam and then we just call and realize equity. Pairing threes in this situation, I think we just go ahead and check and lose. If we had something like we paired like maybe a 7 or something a little bit higher, we can go ahead and bet a little bit bigger. I'm an 08. Deuces in that game don't matter as much too. So like maybe you'd say like maybe your best effective bluff is like your deuces. But I don't necessarily think that matters too much. I think like maybe your better bluff in that situation is like an 8. Like if you pair 8s, just because you reduce the combinations of your opponent, like having that type of hand. Again, I could be wrong, and I will definitely talk going forward if this game is like playing more often. We'll get Chris in there to talk about it, because he actually did the commentary, a little bit of the commentary for the deuce to 7 single draw this year. All right, Omaha high low, always a high, sometimes a low. We're gonna call here with ace 2 6 8, rainbow in the big blind. Not a super pretty hand. I'm gonna go ahead and with this like specific combo, I'm gonna go ahead and check call flop. Like obviously ace 10 is just super. He has me like super dominated on this board, range on range. So like I'm not really doing that much. When we get to the river here to make 3 aces and 6 deuce slow, I think we're gonna go ahead and bet. Don't really want to see a raise, but interesting. He raised 10-10 king deuce under the gun. That is probably one of the. That's a really bad hand. We'll just go there. Kind of surprised he didn't bet turn, to be completely honest. Ace 4 5 8 in the small blind here. I think we're gonna go ahead and call with the 3 wheel cards and a suited ace. Pretty strong flop for our hand. I think in general, like player in position here is gonna bet a lot. We turn the nuts, and I don't think this player here is ever gonna bet when check to, so I'm gonna go ahead and lead small blind. I think the only person who could probably bet's Mel. And then with no low being out there, I'm gonna go ahead and bet river with nut flush. I don't think I'm gonna run into a full house too often. I'd be a little more scared, I think, if the deuce paired the board on the river. But yeah, we definitely have to value better nut flushes there. Joke raises. Hijack. Ace queen 10-5. Suited queen. Wheel card, ace. Definitely strong enough to 3-bet. Block nut flush draw here. Middle pair. Turn kind of an interesting card. I think I'm going to go ahead and check this one back. Not a lot of good rivers either way now with this hand unless board pairs. And I think this is kind of a good candidate to consider actually like thin value betting my hand and trying to get paid off light. Kind of looks like I have a bluff here pretty frequently. I have a 5, I have a queen, I have nut diamond blocker. So I think this is an okay hand to consider bluffing. 4 5 7 8 double. Interestingly, get called. I'm gonna go ahead and call this one. Again, usually I always say like you want an ace in your hand, then I find myself playing hands that don't have an ace. But the double suited like middling to low cards is usually a fair candidate. I'm not open-ended here, and if I was open-ended, I might consider raising. But with 2 backdoor flush draws and middle pair to gut shot, we do hit the gut shot. I'm not too afraid of like other players having 10-7 here. So in check 2, I'm just gonna go ahead and bet. Like 10-7's a pretty that's a really good card for us too, because now we can scoop ace 3. We make 4-5 low with 9 high straight. But 10-7 is just such a rare combination of players to have. Get raised. So this is usually ace 4. It could be 4-5 theoretically. But I'm not going to drive out Omaha, I think, with like any hand that he has like value with. So I'm just going to go ahead and call. Usually that check raise on the river is just like nut low. Ace, ace, king, 7. Suited ace with a low card. Deuce, deuce, 10 is not necessarily a flop, but again, it tends to hit my like opening range pretty strong. So we're gonna go ahead and call. 7's a bad card for us now. Counterfeits are low. I think I am gonna give this one up. 1, because I have the nut heart in my hand. 2, he cold called, which is just so likely to have like a deuce in his hand. And 3, my low just got counterfeit. So I am gonna make a fold in this spot. Like, theoretically, he could have something like 3, 4, 5 with hearts that makes some sense to raise that board with. But, I mean, again, it's just such a low combination, and you gotta find some folds sometimes, and that seems like a good one to do it with. Alright, limit hold'em. There's so much information out there, can't stress enough, like, go try to find some. Ace queen deuce is pretty, pretty strong board for my under the gun range, probably betting here 100%. If I was gonna check a hand, that might be one of them. Like, maybe 10s, 9, 8s, something like that. Maybe jacks. Maybe kings. Against a 3-bet here with 10-7, we're gonna muck. But usually such a range advantage under the gun raises. Big blind calls and 2 Broadway card sets. And again, you can look at some of the stuff that Death Donkey Chris has done on his YouTube channel. It's at Death Donkey. He does a lot of pile work on there, and you can see like just a range advantage. I don't think the under the gun player they're supposed to check ever. But we're almost through 12 hands, and we've only been playing for 40 minutes, which 12 games. We've only been playing 40 minutes, which is really strong. See, A6, 8 deuce. Kicker. 4 diamonds on the board, and the kicker plays. That's funny. King 9 if folded too will open. We do open the King 9 on the button. There's my 3-bet. Call. This would be a fun one for Donkey. I don't think he's got so many aces in this hand that I don't think we do any raising. And then against betting it, we're just calling. And then on the river, I think we unfortunately call one more time. But don't love it. And he does have aces up. I think we'll play the stud round and then call it. We've got a full rotation in, which is exactly what we tried to do, and we're going to do it 9-handed. King 9 suited here would be an open, I believe. King 9 offsuit, though, I think we're going to fold. Yeah, just super happy this one's running, so hopefully it runs a little bit more now. Get some really good content out there. All right, 7-card stud. Stud high, 7 cards. Best high hand wins. Not too much to say. I expect that 4-card straight's going to open here pretty wide with the ace against the 10, and having ace jack 10, I think we're just going to go ahead and 2-bet. He might know that I'm like re-stealing pretty liberally against him, but at the same time too, like he's opening such a wide range here with aces, I believe. Good card for us on 4th Street here. We are going to go ahead and bet again. He opened pairs aces, which is a joke. Oh man, not much I can really do in this situation either. Like if I had like a 9 of spades and you decided to do it, then maybe I could like semi-bluff my hand, but there's not much I can really do now when he opened pairs aces. So we just gotta let it go. Split 6s with a queen. It is important to know here that a queen and a 6 are dead. Also, there's 2 aces behind me. So when I see 2 aces, it's more likely that I actually run into a pair of aces. But again, against 4-card straight, I'm just not folding. Just think his range is so wide that we should be playing back at him. He catches a good card too. King's live, so we're going to continue. I guess 3's also live. There's one ace dead too. Gonna see at least 6th Street. It's a really bad card against a 3-bet range. See, like when now he checks, and it's just so likely he just made a flush. This to me makes like no sense at all. Like this just feel like a total trap. So, I mean, like I'm just totally giving up at this point. I mean, like I think you just like in the case that I just have 2 pair in this situation, you just want to go ahead and bet your flush. Like I don't even think I'm going to call in that situation with sixes, and that's probably one of the reasons why he decided to check. But um, I don't recommend you ever do that. I mean, because an experienced player there with like two pair is probably going to check back and try to get you, try to catch you with his full house, and um, yeah, it's just an exploit. I think is incorrect. No, makes a nice hand there with it. Eight's full. 6, 6, 10 again. It is important. The 6 and the 10 are dead. I think Joe can be raising pretty wide here, but I'm gonna fold this one. It's a lot different when you're playing 100% against probably what's close to 100% range versus a range that is not 100%. Like if the bring it is to his immediate left, he should be raising close to 100% is my guess. But under the gun against everyone, he has to narrow his range down a lot, or he's just gonna get absolutely crushed. So, um, um, yeah, I don't think he's got near 100% there. And with a 10 and a 10 and a 6 dead, I think we just let go and go to the next one. Straight versus two pairs of trips. It's kind of interesting because like I wonder if you ask Joke like, would you raise a flush there? And if the answer is yes, then you probably should be raising a straight. They're kind of effectively the same hand against a that board. Just trying to watch this hand again. We'll play the Badusi round just for fun, and then we'll I think call it a day. So what's the one after the no one to cap? I want no one to hand, I guess. I'm just looking back at Omaha hand. So he bets, Joke calls. He open pairs queens. He bets and calls, and then he bets again in the three diamonds. So I think it's kind of interesting. Like if he's keeping track, there is a dead queen over here too. Like I think Joke should actually raise a straight. I think with me having a dead queen in my hand, it makes it just less likely that your opponent there has a full house. One. Previous draw. This is it. So here you're going to see a lot of Badugis. Again, Badusi 7-5-4-3-2 is the best low. 5-4-3-2 is the best Badugi. Aces play high, and straights do count against you in the deuce portion. Usually not going to see too many flushes, just because flushes are a really bad hand to have in this game. You have no Badugi equity. This one just kind of depends like who I'm against. I think against Joke, I'm just going to call and draw 3. If I was against 4-card straight, I might take 2 to the 9. We do not make a Badugi. It looks like we make a Badugi, but we have a pair Doogie. So we improve to 7-4 deuce. We're going to go ahead and check call out of position and try to draw a Badugi again. We do make the 8 Badugi this time. This is quite close between check raising and check calling, I think. Against Joke, I think I'm gonna go ahead and check raise this one. I've seen a 7 and extra deuce. So 8-7 Doogie I think is kind of close, but I think against his range, he's a little bit wider, so I'm gonna go ahead and check raise. He does take 1, and I do expect to win here a fair bit when he pats. Like he's got like some 9. Oh, he's got a wheel. Interesting. Never mind. I don't expect to win that one against a wheel. And he played it like that because he thought he knew that I had a Badugi as played, and he was technically getting free rolled to get quartered. So I don't dislike his play. I think it's totally fine. Two one with one draw remaining. 3-6 here on the button with no significant blockers. Even if folded to, just let that one go. Patty in this situation should be doing a lot of betting. I would say close to 100%, just in case he thinks he's getting trapped by the one card draw in the situation. There's situations where you can consider checking, but even then, if you have the deuce to 7 equity, trying to drive out. Well, he did have a 10-10, and that's a pretty rough hand to have under the gun. Joke there had 8-8, but Omaha made a better 8. All right, when we're in Badusi, 1-0 limit hand, I think we're going to call it a day. So as always, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe, comments down below, emails down below. If you're thinking of opening a Phenom account, please click the link below. That helps me out and keeps the channel going. Also, if anyone is looking to get a free review session in, you can record 1 hour on Phenom, send it to me, and I will go over it with or without you, and then post it to YouTube. And if you guys need to get a hold of me in general, my email is on there. It's at Learn Mix Games. Obviously, Jack 6, the last hand here we're going to play. But we're going to let this one go. We're going to set out next big blind. So until then, I wish everyone luck at the tables. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.